I want to welcome you to tonight's Finance Committee meeting for April the 10th, the year 2023. Before we go into our agenda items, we have a special proclamation at this time. This is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and at this time our clerk will read the proclamation.
Whereas Muskogee's future prosperity depends on nurturing the healthy development of more than 26,359 children currently living, growing, and learning within our community and county, and whereas research shows that safe, nurturing relationships and stimulating stable environments improve brain development and child well-being, while neglectful or abusive experiences and unstable or stressful environments increase the odds of poor childhood outcomes, and whereas the abuse and neglect of children can cause severe, costly, and lifelong problems affecting all of society, including physical and mental health problems, school failure, and criminal behavior, and whereas research shows that parents and caregivers who have social networks and know how to seek help in times of trouble are more resilient and better able to provide safe environments and nurturing experiences for their children, and whereas individuals, businesses, schools, and faith-based and community organizations must make children a top priority and take action to support the physical, social, emotional, and educational development and competency of all children, and whereas during the month of April, the City of Muskogee and the State Department of Health, in collaboration with their citywide partners, will be engaging individuals and communities throughout the city in a coordinated effort to prevent child abuse and neglect by promoting awareness of healthy child development, positive parenting practices, and the types of support families need within their communities. And whereas I encourage all citizens of Muskogee to recognize that prevention starts with each of us, now, therefore, I, Derek Reed, Deputy Mayor of the City of Muskogee, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2023 as Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Thank you. If we I honor that with a round of applause, please. And at this time, in the absence of our mayor, we will present this to the group who's available tonight, and the council will also join you for a photo op.
Have something to play with when you get home.
Yeah.
Older brother.
Ray,
He's had long hair his whole life.
Thank you so much.
Time I saw him, he still had his long hair, but then he put
Any other photo releases? I can take those too.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, thank you.
I'll sign your paper real quick.
Here's one more release right here.
We have one more.
What's today?
10. Oh, 9. 10. 10.
My Indian grandma was a short one. My dad's a little short guy.
No good, we got Teresa here.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. One of these. No, this is she's called me. What?
All right, at this time, we're going to tonight's business. We will have our invocation at this time by Councilor Alex Reynolds, followed by the flag salute. If you'll stand, please.
Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight. We ask that you please forgive us for our sins, those which we've knowingly committed and those which we have committed without knowledge. Lord, thank you for bringing us together to help the city and work for the benefit of our constituents. Please help us make good decisions and move forward in a positive way. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Finance Committee agenda item number 1, please.
Consider approval of Finance Committee minutes of March 13th, 2023, or take other necessary action.
Reviewing of the minutes, are there any questions or additions to our minutes?
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve our minutes. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Perlin Boyotti Craig.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Jones.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes. Item number 1 passes. Item number 2, please.
Consider approval of claims for all city departments March 4th, 2023 through March 31st, 2023, or take other necessary action.
Do we have a report from the Purchasing Committee?
Yes, the purchasing committee did meet this afternoon, and we approved the claims. I move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve our claims. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Perlin Boyotti Craig.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Jones.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes. Item number 2 passes. Item number 3, please.
Consider approval of change order number 3 for the Hatbox Event Center site improvements, project number 2022030 with Rosscon LLC in the amount of $8,960 to add a concrete slope between Trickle Channel and building or take other necessary action.
Mr. Reeves?
One of the many site improvements we've conducted on the Hatbox Site Improvement Project was to add a trickle channel down the west side of the livestock barn. And part of that barn area had exposed foundation, and we were the intent was to add aggregate to it, but the engineer thought it would be a good idea to add concrete as opposed to the aggregate, thereby shedding any water that might fall down on the side of the building into the foundation area. So I would be happy to answer any questions, and staff does recommend approval.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Reeves?
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve this agenda item. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Perlin Boyotti Craig.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Jones.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes. Item number 3 passes. Item number 4, please.
Consider approval to award a contract to NCC LLC in the amount of $159,445 for the exterior rehabilitation of 8 structures through the Muskogee Rehabilitation and Revitalization Program, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Sweezy?
Good evening, Vice Mayor and committee members. The City of Muskogee has a housing rehab program funded through the City of Muskogee Foundation for low-income homeowners to repair the outside of their homes. The budgeted goal for each home is $20,000. It's been 1 or 2 years since we awarded a contract. I think it was the fall of '21, so we are catching up on this program getting going again. I do want to call attention to a math error I put on the background sheet that we had 6 of the 13 that were above the approved per home amount. It's actually 5. So staff is recommending that we award 8 of the 13 structures that were under our budgeted total per structure tonight to the lowest best bid of NCC. I'm going to bring up Benita, our purchasing manager, to get a little further into the details and answer any questions.
Good evening. We had two bidders. One bid was complete and the other bid was incomplete. And the bid that was complete had only 8 structures that were under the 20,000, and the other 5 structures, staff is going to review it and see what our next steps will be to get those 5 structures going. But we do request that you approve the 8 structures that are under the 20.
Thank you. Any further questions for Benita?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayor, may I be recognized?
Yes, ma'am.
I got some concerns on this one. I did get a complaint on this, and I talked to the ladies earlier today to want to see if we had changed anything, because the previous contractor that we were using from the last term, they said when they came 2 weeks ago and we rejected this because you said that the bids wasn't complete. My question to them was, what did she do different than she did when she got the bid versus the second time that she didn't get the bid versus the third time?
So the first time, the bid packet was incomplete because she did not turn in all her bid affidavits, and all of the bid terms and conditions were not met as what had been posted and was given to her. This time, not only was it incomplete, but it did not show all the materials as per the bid terms and conditions that are within the bid packet. Materials that are to be used for the structures, and it was just, how can I say it, the time period, the time constraints for each project would have been estimated to be a default of 14 days, but we are aware there are some structures that need longer than 14 days, and they did not specify any days as well. So that was the difference between the first packet and the second packet, and for them to be incomplete. And they received the same packet as the other bidder, so.
Did we do anything different with the packages from the very first time we awarded that first contractor?
I'm still looking for those first. Are you talking about in the past?
Yeah, yes, Ms. Ma'am,
in the
I'm
past?
talking
Okay.
about- Because this person, the
The
contractor.
bid terms and conditions are still in the same packet. It has never changed. It has been the same bid terms and conditions. I mean, I don't know why it wasn't shown. Did we locate any of it?
You're correct, Benita. The terms and conditions have been the same each year for this program.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see the packet from when she originally got the award to what we got now. Also, it was also stated in the letter, I guess she was dealing with Suzanne, even though Suzanne wasn't here anymore. Had something about the packet would be 25,000 versus the 20,000.
And the crazy thing about that, I'm just going to say, is that the second bidder was not given a number because that's not how we process bids. We would like to get the best, how can I say it, the best bid number at its, how can I say it, within, yeah. We don't disclose those kind of amounts to get the best work that we can get as far as what we're having to pay. For us to give them the amount, it would show us as,
So
you
the
know, giving them
contractors
the
don't know that
number.
there's a 20,000.
No, he did not know. The winning bidder did not know. So that's kind of a difference. Why she was given those numbers is beyond me, because I did not speak to her about that.
Well, no, that's something that we made public. Everyone, we've been doing this for a while, so everybody knows that it was 20,000. That's not a secret. Even your
No.
contractor would know that because it's public information. I'm just saying.
Yeah, even the winning bidder was over the 20 on some of the structures, the 5 structures. He actually went up a few, like 30-something thousand, but I know he never asked that question either, so I don't know how they got the numbers or.
And to be clear, the staff is just asking to accept the bids that are under 20,000.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to address this letter as well.
I didn't receive that letter. I know you did mention earlier if we had received, we didn't receive any letter from them. So I don't know what the letter entails exactly.
Well, I did receive it, and I'd like to make sure that my council get the letter before we move forward with it. That's just what I would think. Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
So, Tracy, you know, some of these questions were asked down in purchasing as well. And one of the questions that was brought out is that they did communicate with them in between the first bid and the second bid to let them know it was incomplete. And the second time, when they receive the bids, they don't know what's in them until they actually open them all at the same time. So, if there's any assurance that there was, But I guess the pleasure of the council, are we going to move it forward? It will show back up on Monday night's meeting so we can,
Just have time to view it, if you guys don't object to that, and then we can vote on it Monday.
So
That's
if-
just one vote.
if the pleasure of the council, because this has to show up on council meeting in 2 weeks, so if we want to just move forward with no recommendation tonight, is that the correct way, Ms. Bodenhammer?
Yes, actually, what we would do is table it to the,
No, I think it just move
Next
forward
meeting.
to the council meeting with no vote, no recommendation.
No
for-
recommendation.
No vote today. We can move it directly to council based off of council recommendation.
Would that be my motion?
Is a motion necessary?
Is it necessary?
if we
No?
just take no action,
We can just take no action.
then we can do it that way.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to take no action to give Ms. McGee once again an opportunity to receive the information she's requesting, and this item automatically by default would also always show up on a city council agenda, which is scheduled for 2 weeks. So with that being said, no action on item number 4. That is our final item for our finance committee.
Welcome to tonight's Public Works Committee meeting, April 10th of 2023. Item number 1, please.
Consider approval of Public Works Committee minutes of March 13th, 2023, or take other necessary action.
We all had time to review the minutes. Do we have a motion?
Move for approval?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Pearlie Boyati Craig.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Jones.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Item passes. Item number 2, please.
Consider approval of ordinance number 4195A, amending the City of Muskogee Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 90, Zoning, Article 9, Commercial Districts, Section 90-09-04, Commercial District Design Standards, adding repealer severability and setting an effective date, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Weezy.
Good evening, committee members. Pursuant to previous council direction to staff and in order to modernize the exterior commercial design standards in the city of Muskogee, this proposed change to the existing ordinance would allow metal and other types of more up-to-date exterior designs and materials for new and remodeled businesses within the city. We did discuss this recently in staff meetings, and we've met with a few business owners. As you might recall, we had a 90-day period where the planning director could approve any special requests for sales tax producing businesses that might want metal siding or shipping container style materials. So we're going to address both of those tonight as separate items, and the first one is for metal siding, and I'm going to hand it over to Laura Enlow. I don't know if you've all got to meet her yet, but she is our Assistant Director of Planning.
Hi, Deputy Mayor, fellow council members. Do I need the mic?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I'm much better when I stand up. Oh,
Our screens just went blank too.
okay.
There we go.
I've lost it. All right, this is, I guess I'm ready to move. This is the sheet metal. It gives you an idea of what it looks like. It's a little blurry. It's clear up here, actually. If you want to look at it this way, it's a little bit clearer. This is kind of what it looks like. I'm going to show you some pictures of some different businesses so you get an idea of actual actual buildings. And a lot of the metal lasts longer. There's a lot of benefits to it. Less maintenance, actually termites. There's less issue with insects and termites as well with the metal buildings. And so these are just some neat examples. I'm not sure that's maybe the other one. That's moving slower. Sorry. Okay, and everyone at the Planning Commission seemed really eager and interested in approving this to help businesses, new businesses come in, businesses that want to do different styles and kind of revamp a little bit of our commercial districts. Go back to your first slide where it's all out right now. Oh, yeah. Thank you. It's currently, this will apply to C1, C2, and C3, which is our local commercial, general commercial, and regional commercial areas. It's already allowed in industrial. This is not going to be allowed in historic district, and right now we're not dealing with central business district. We'll deal with that at a separate time. Comply, and the buildings still have to comply with International Commercial Code. We aren't going to let them just do whatever. They still has to, building permits, they still have to have inspections. So we're not relaxing on any of that, anything safety, anything structure-wise. The Planning Commission voted to recommend approval. Any questions?
So is there a special use permit, or with this passing, is it just automatically allowing it in those districts?
Automatically allowing it.
That's good.
Do I have any more questions? Or a motion?
I
Move for approval.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Carlyn Boyati Craig.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hous. Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Jones.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Item number 2 passes. Item number 3, please.
Consider approval of ordinance number 4194A, amending the City of Muskogee Code of Ordinances, Chapter 90, zoning, Article 9, commercial districts, by adding Section 90-09-06, intermodal shipping containers, and by amending Section 90-18-04, definition, intermodal shipping containers, adding repealer, severability, and setting an effective date, or take other necessary action.
And before Ms. Sweezy gets started, I believe Ms. Katrina needs to...
Yes, actually, we need a motion to amend the agenda item. There's a Scrivener's error where it refers to section -18-04, should be section 90-18-04.
Make a motion that we correct.
Yeah.
Okay, roll call, please.
Carlyn Boyati Craig.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Jones.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Item passes. Ms. Sweezy.
Thank you. This amendment to the commercial zoning code will allow intermodal shipping containers to be used for main structures or bases for main structures and accessory structures in specific districts. We think this is a positive step forward for Muskogee businesses to get more creative with the types of business buildings they have. You've seen a couple of these around town already, and as well in other towns. So it is becoming a more trending material choice for businesses, and as Laura mentioned earlier, metal is pretty sustainable. So I'm going to hand it back to her for some more slides.
Thank you. All right, this is going to apply to the commercial districts. Central Business District is going to be a special use for that. And it's going to be allowed in industrial as well. This is a new section of the code attached to the design standards, so we have actual information about the shipping containers. There's not a mystery about what it is. These are, of course, these are containers that are put on ships, trains, trucks. Ooh, okay. All right, the staff recommended approval. Planning Commission also voted to recommend approval to Public Works and then to City Council for approval. I was at this weekend, after me and my son were at a restaurant in Tulsa that was made up of 3 different shipping containers. So it's really getting popular, and I'm going to show you some really neat designs that I have seen. There is one of them. Let's see. Starbucks. My favorite. That one looks a little weird. And I love this one because it's got the stairway sideways. So, all right. All right. Any questions on the shipping containers?
Yeah, I did. C1, 2, and 3 wasn't mentioned. Is that a special use for?
Especially, there's allowed in C1, C2, and C3. It's just Central Business District is where they're going to get special use.
Okay.
Because that's closer to downtown and downtown.
Okay.
Are we going to have any aesthetic requirements to these? I mean, because you can get a shipping container for,
Yes, we have design standards already in our commercial districts, and they'll follow that. as far as it molding to the buildings. You know, there's some things they won't be able to do.
Well, these are really nice, but some shipping containers look rather rough. I mean,
Yes,
construction
yes.
sites use them already right now, and they're there. I mean, so I just want to make sure that we're just not going to allow where someone can go right in next to someone's business and put just a shipping container they bought for $3,000 on a piece of land. And
Oh, no.
just be a shipping container there that they're using.
Yeah, and it'll still be required to have building inspections. There's certain inspections that they have before they get sold, and that's going to be required. That's in the ordinance. That'll be required to still be on there. It's like a tag, a metal tag, and our building official will make sure that's there, make sure the structure is secure, free of rust, all that kind of that stuff as far as building safety and everything. So that will still be under all of that those inspections.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Move for approval.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Pearline Boyati Craig.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hous. Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Jones.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Item number 3 passes. Item number 4, please.
Hold a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance number 4193A on the application of Wallace Design for Cherokee Nation to rezone property described in the ordinance from local commercial C1 to single-family residential R1, and authorize staff to revise the official zoning map of the city to reflect said change or take other necessary action.
I open tonight's public hearing. Ms. Sweezy.
Thank you. Tonight we have a zoning request from Wallace Design on behalf of Cherokee Nation. We do have the design engineer representative here to answer questions if you have any. Laura is going to point out all the technical and location items on the slides. This is for an exciting housing district, development. And I believe there will be some announcements this week from the tribe.
Thank you. Currently, this is Zone C1, which is kind of on my voice, which is not really. We're not. I'm going to start back again. Okay, so it's there. We're going to see in just a minute how most of it around there is residential 1. They're wanting to put in, I believe, a 16 house addition for their tribal members. The current structure they have and the zoning and their site plan complies with the residential 1 zoning. It also complies with our future land use plan, which I'm going to show you in just a second. And this is the location. This is York and Hancock. Just a little bit. Oh,
No, I'm visualizing my.
oh, sorry. This is the property right here as far as aerial, so you can kind of see a little bit right there. We got the gymnastics academy, and there's a church right there.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Do a better idea of where that's located at.
Fenced-in area next to Blossoms.
Yeah.
And this is the current zoning. I'm not sure why it's green, but this is currently zoned commercial. You see all the residential around it. There is commercial here, but that's on the corner of Hancock and York. Typically, we do have commercial on corners, but it's it's much more common use to have it as residential here. This is the new plat. I just received it today. So this is the layout of the housing of the subdivision. It's Warrior Edition, is what they're going to be calling this area. And this is our future land use map. And this is the commercial, and this is all residential. So you can see how it fits in with our comprehensive plan and our land use. I think I've got it there. That back up, you can see that better. Right there. All right, any questions?
Before the questions, we don't have anybody to sign up to speak to this, so let me go ahead and close the public hearing. Discussion or questions?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
This is very, very exciting for us to be working with Cherokee Nation and for some more housing, which is a need for our community, to be coming in. So this is very exciting times for us here in Muskogee. And we thank Cherokee Nation for investing here.
Do we know if these houses will be restricted for Cherokee tribal members only?
I believe so. Carl,
could I ask a question? Do you have any idea what size of homes these will be?
Yeah, sure. We've been told they'll be about 1,500 to 1,800 square feet.
Good.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Are these Indian preferential homes, or are these going to be provided homes? Are these free Indian homes for the tribal members, or are these?
I think they will be working through the Tribal Housing Authority in Tahlequah. I'm not sure how the gymnastics of that works out, but I believe you will have to be a tribal member to be able to secure a loan to buy one of the homes. That's my understanding.
It's actually in the Cherokee Nation, isn't it? So I bet
Yes.
they're offering their assistance for people to buy those.
There's actually a line or diagonal line that runs across there. And
Yeah.
so it's property that they own. We're doing these all over the state, so any properties they've got, they've come to us for engineering and design and planning work.
Great.
How big are the lots?
Quite large. They are quarter acre. They want all their lots to be quarter acre.
That's
So,
awesome.
which is much larger than the zoning minimum.
And for
on the site.
people who qualify, they can get up to $50,000 down payment assistance from the tribe.
That's great.
That's an awesome thing you're doing. Good.
Yep, putting in a park and 2 detention areas also with the development.
Any more questions?
Yeah, I did have a question. I asked a question public. You have did your research that is not a flood area, correct?
Yeah, it is out of the 100-year floodplain.
Is that, okay. Make sure.
I have that as well. Oh, I have that as well.
Okay.
That's my last one. This is the floodplain area right here, and they're over here.
Okay.
So there's no, they're not.
And the actual technical plating items will be addressed during the plat, so you'll see this again as we vote on the final plat acceptance later. Zoning is just the first step.
Great,
Plats moving forward, you will see that soon.
great, thank you.
Move for approval.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Perlin Boyati Craig.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos. Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Jones.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes. Which one are we at?
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
The item passes. Item number 5, please.
Receive quarterly report from the Muskogee Tourism Authority to discuss their projects, goals, and activities, as well as receive an update on the NCJAA basketball tournament or take other necessary action.
Councilor Stout.
Yes, the Tourism Authority reached out and would like to do their quarterly report and give us an update on how the basketball tournament went that we recently held here at the Roper Village. So, Ms. Tammy, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tammy Howe with Muskogee Tourism. We appreciate the opportunity that you've given us to come and just brag a little bit about what's happening first quarter. It has been a busy quarter, and obviously we want to be respectful of your time. So I'm learning how to work this. But the first thing right out of the gate is the NJCAA basketball tournament. It was what we believe was a huge success. If you were able to attend, you certainly know that it brought in a lot of folks. And the first thing I wanted to share was this event would absolutely not be possible if it hadn't been for a lot of our partners, a lot of our support. And if you would just give me an opportunity, I would love to read for some of those folks. Thank yous are huge to the city of Muskogee. Dr. Ramming from Connor State College is actually the one that introduced this connection for us. Arvis Bank was our presenting sponsor. Bravado Wireless was our championship sponsor. Buffalo Wild Wings was hospitality sponsor. Sadler Paper Company, Harmony House, Chick-fil-A, Maddie Jane's, El Churro. Those were the folks that brought in a lot of food and then a lot of extra food that came along the side. So we also were very appreciative of different groups in the community that were able to help us in the hospitality room. Those include the Rotary Club, Home to Suites, NAACP, Main Street Muskogee, Muskogee Civic Center. I'm supposed to be moving this, aren't I? I just realized that. There we go. Now I'm caught up. Muskogee Civic Center, they partnered with us for the ticketing. Muskogee Police Department, they had extra eyes. The NJCAA committee. We had a lot of national anthem performers and a lot of halftime folks. And so, again, this event could not have been possible without all of these folks. One thing I did want to share tonight is this was an opportunity that Muskogee Tourism had to bid on this event, and we were successful in receiving that bid. The event, to my knowledge and all the history, had been hosted in Shawnee and Enid for a very long time, I think of somewhat of 20 years. So when they came to us, it was short and sweet. It kind of came together pretty quickly. We had an opportunity to bid. We won the bid. We felt like we did a pretty good job. They came back and said, we definitely would love to see you guys sign a 3-year contract. And we're like, we would love that. Well, in the meantime, we had a recap call with these folks, and they said, we would like to extend that 1 more year. So they've asked us to host this for the next 4 years. So to us, that is a huge win. And the consistency being in Muskogee, we believe, will definitely be a huge benefit as far as growth, economic growth, and things like that. And then also it just showcases who Muskogee is. It showcases the beautiful facility at Muskogee High School. So we're very proud of that. I have to learn to turn a page and click at the same time. So by numbers, we saw 14 games, 16 teams. We believe 2,000 tickets were sold, and the coverage has just been astronomical. We were able to receive media coverage from numerous regional and statewide outlets. There was a lot of things on social media, a lot of things in our community, and so for those of you that were attended, thank you. For those of you that participated in helping us, we also appreciate that. So that was in the middle of first quarter, and so now our next big event is also going to be the Bass Nation, Bassmaster, and so this is May 3rd through the 5th. This is also a collaboration between the City of Muskogee, the Port of Muskogee, and the Bass Nation Central Regional Tournament. Again, this was an opportunity that we, tourism, had to bid on this, and we received the bid also. This was Muskogee Tourism Authority competed to host the Central Region Bass Nation Tournament and was successful in the bid, as I mentioned. Right now, we are still calculating all the logistics and the deliverables, but to date, we have 45 hotel rooms just from tournament organizers. And those numbers, I believe, are increasing, and our phone just keeps ringing just a little bit more. So we believe that this will allow people to be in town. With it being a 3-day event, a lot of these folks are coming in the weekend before and staying the weekend after. So a lot of these folks are going to be here for a week. So we anticipate those numbers of the hotels to increase, which is good for our restaurants, and it's good for our community. It's good for our shopping and all the wonderful things that we have to offer in Muskogee. I will make a plug if you would like to be a part of that and volunteer. I'm sure you have my number. We would love to have you do that. Again, we cannot make these events happen without the support of City Council and the support of all of our volunteers. So next we have a video, and we're hoping that it works. We've worked really hard on some of our digital things, so I want to share this with you. Short and sweet, but it got the point across, right? Some good music with it. So the digital ads, this is some logistics and some deliverables that we're trying to track. But right now, the target for this on the digital ads would be a 15-mile radius from Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Fayetteville, McAllister, and Joplin. We are also targeting those that are interested in fishing and outdoors and speak the language. We think the income level will be up to $40,000 up. We also believe the geofencing Bass Pro Shops in Broken Arrow, Springfield, Rogers, Arkansas, OKC, and Napatech, I believe is how you pronounce it, in Claremore. So this is all of our digital ad information, 40,000 connected TV commercials that are running, and a lot of social media platform coming from behind that and in the middle of that. So again, thank you for the opportunity. It has been a busy quarter. We wanted to be respectful of your time. There's a lot of things happening, and if you'd like more details, we're happy to give that. But we're proud of where we are first quarter, and we're anxious to get into the second quarter.
Thank you so much, Tammy. Do we have any questions?
Good job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm excited.
Thank you, guys.
Wonderful. Item number 6, please.
Consider approval to authorize the city manager to amend the Muskogee Water System Maintenance Contract and Street Repair Contract between the City of Muskogee and Cook Consulting LLC by increasing the not-to-exceed limit to $575,000 from the original amount of $325,000, or take other necessary action.
Mike Stewart.
Yes, ma'am. So we're just simply asking to raise this contract price, and it's specifically for the water portion of the contract. And what we want to do is we want to raise it from $325,000 to $500,000. So the $75,000 of that is in there for street repairs, and that's for driveways and street cuts that happen because of the water utility cuts. A little background on this contract. I don't know how many councilors remember, but several years ago, we had an enormous amount of water leaks in town. And actually, we had over 246 leaks at that time. And we're down to just 40 in the CAC right now, which is a tremendous improvement. And part of the reason we were able to accomplish that was due to this contract. What we had discovered was that we were working our employees, our water department employees, overtime at night. And then when they'd come in the next day, they would be wore out, or they would be limited in a 16-hour work period, and we'd have to send them home. So we were discovering we weren't having water crews during the day. So we put this water contract together, and we incorporated the emergency portion of it into that contract, so that now we have one water department employee on standby. He goes out and checks the leak, and if he deems it bad enough it needs repaired at night, then we call the emergency contractor, and he comes out. And our employee stays with them to do the shut-offs and anything associated with our system that we need to be doing. But it really cut back on that overtime. So now we're running 2 full crews, which is part of how we got that down to 40. Another big portion of this contract, at that time, we had quite a few hydrants, fire hydrants that were damaged and needed to be repaired. And right now we're down to 35 hydrants, which is a huge improvement, and that contractor still assists us with these. And we've actually fixed 74 hydrants this year, so we're making huge improvements there and getting that down. Part of this contract, one of the reasons the cost is so much is that the material is incorporated into this contract. So if he has to, for example, the fire hydrant assembly itself is $4,000. So when you start putting that material into the contract too, that's where the majority of this money goes. And that also has helped us with our supply and demand issue, getting these water parts. So these contractors keep these parts on hand as well, which helps us not have to stock as much. And it is very hard to get parts right now, by the way. Another thing this does, these contractors, and this one in particular is with Cook Consulting. And if you remember the Royal Casket building when we had to tear it down, Cook had a backhoe big enough to go up to the top of that second floor. So the 24-inch water mains that we have coming across town, some of them are 20 feet deep. And the city doesn't have that kind of equipment, so we'd have to contract out anyway. But we feel like this is an appropriate expense, and it has definitely helped. And Mr. Miller has also asked me to prepare sometime next week a report that will give you some examples of just what we have done with that money. So do recommend approval. We'll answer any questions, but this contract has really, really worked for us.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart.
Go ahead.
Any questions?
Yeah, I did have a question. I did talk to Mike and Mike today about the increase, and he had made mention about the budget. So I'm gonna ask this question. So since if we're allowed to give you extend your limit, now we come to the budget. That will be taken care of, correct? We won't have to use that as a budget item.
That's correct. Yeah. So I was raising my hand to answer your question. So because we had talked earlier today, this is money that's set aside in account for water and sewer repairs. So the only thing we can use it for is to improve our water system and our sewer system. So this is an appropriate use of those funds. And next year's budget already has a proposed higher limit for these contracts in there, and we do have the money in the account to keep this going moving forward. So it's a good question. It's where's the money come from? Always a good question, and it's coming from an account dedicated for this this work.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions?
I move for approval.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Perlin Boyati Craig.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos. Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Jones.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Item number 6 passes. Item number 7.
Consider approval to authorize the city manager to amend the emergency sewer repair contract between the City of Muskogee and Utilicor to increase the not-to-exceed amount to $400,000 from the original amount of $250,000, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Stewart?
Yeah, this is basically the same as the water service contract, so I won't go through all those details. But we did discover just how well that water contract was working, and we went into the sewer side as well. And we have the same issues. We have the deep digs that we have to get into. A good example of that, as soon as we contracted Utilicor, we had a sinkhole at the hospital on Mulgee Street, and it was very deep, and we had to get in there and let Utilicor do that. They also have the trenching and the shoring equipment that we need that assists with that. This also has the material associated with it. It's the cost plus 10% is the way the contract is written. Utilicor is currently working on a really good one over on Fredonia near Chestnut. And today they had to move a storage building because somebody had put the storage building in the easement on top of the sewer line, so he had to take his equipment in there and move that. This company also is assisting us right now with camera work, where we're going into the utility lines and doing the inspection with cameras. Do recommend the same approval, and one of the areas he's fixing to move to is a force main that we have over on the lift station that's out in the meadows. He'll be moving there next. We just continually have sinkholes when you have this type of rain, and there's always an emergency somewhere for these contracts. So do recommend approval of the money. It's a $150,000 increase, and as Mr. Miller stated, this comes out of MMA, specifically set aside for water and sewer repairs.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. Do we have any questions? Or a motion?
I move for approval.
Second.
Roll call?
Pearlie Boyati Craig.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Jones.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Item number 7 passes. Item number 8.
Consider approval of an amendment to the Muskogee Wellness bylaws permitting one member to be a medical professional, removing the chair and vice chair of Turning Point as members, as well as modifying some of the other members and officers, requiring members to be citizens of Muskogee or residents of Muskogee County, revising the bylaws to comply with the Oklahoma Open Meeting Act, and designating meeting location to be at the Muskogee County Health Department, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Booker? Oh, no. Hello.
Hi. Thank you, members of council. My name is Kevin Anthus. I'm with the Parks Department, representing the Muskogee Wellness Initiative presently. You might feel like we're having deja vu because I was just here previously in regards to the ordinance. However, these are the bylaws which are derived off of that ordinance. And so previous change was requested for the ordinance. These are now for the bylaws, which get a little bit more in depth as far as the details of who can be and can't be members on the board. And one of the primary things that we added here that was not added into the ordinance was the opportunity to get people out of county that might be right outside of city limits. But again, the goal being to hopefully obtain more people that are eligible to be to serve on the board. And just a quick note, if you might be asking, what does Muskogee Wellness Initiative do? One of the recent things that we had just come out last week was our Muskogee bike share system that just came out. So I want to kind of plug that real quick, and that's a fun thing. Hopefully more information coming out on that soon. But that's one of our Move More. Our Muskogee Wellness is about eat better, move more, and be tobacco free. And so that's our request today is just that you would approve the bylaws as written. And we did work through these with the attorney's office as well.
Thank you. Do we have any questions?
Move for approval.
I second it.
Roll call?
Pearlie Boyati Craig.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Jones.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
And item number 8 passes. Item number 9, please.
Receive report from staff regarding the 2019 capital improvements projects and take other necessary action.
Mr. Miller?
Yes, thank you. And I want to thank Councilor McGee. She asked me for an update on these and the projects that the people voted on to spend taxpayer money on. And I said this would be a great opportunity to do kind of an update on all the projects. Just a reminder, this is what we ask the voters to look at. 2 propositions. One for street tax, 0.33 of a cent, less than half a cent. Both of these taxes add up to half a cent. It was a renewed tax, so it was no new taxes. And you can see we've had some discussion about those previously about in the last month or so what the CIP streets plan was from Mr. Rigney. So I won't go into that. We're going to spend a lot of time talking more about what the other proposals were with public safety, facilities, King Center, industrial development, quality of life issues. And so King Center, the new parking lot was one of the things that was front and center on the Martin Luther King Center's list. That project has been completed, and we're proud of it. Industrial development, the port asked us to put this into the CIP, a match for their major rail project, which is still underway. It's really going to help the long-term life of the port as an industrial hub. We have already sent the money from the CIP to them for that. We also have money for development of sites for economic development at Muskogee Davis Airport that the port helps us with. We have funding, additional funding. We have several avenues that we try and use for demolition, and we made sure that since it was a council priority and a city priority, that there's funding in the CIP for demolition, and so that is still there and underway. It was money for hat box improvements and renovations. You're all familiar with a lot of things that are going on out there, including, the new building and the new parking that's been going on in place. You're also familiar with the water park. The update, we have also have a project going on with a match from the foundation that we're looking at trying to get designed this spring and be built after the summer season. So we're going to get it all designed, let people have a good time in the water park through Labor Day, and then after that we'll shut it down and start building new and rehabbing old. So that's a big project. We also have swim and fitness center upgrades in the CIP as well. Trail maintenance, trail extensions, those are oftentimes used for match when we apply for grants. They need a match, and so this helps us to say, yes, we have the money, we don't have to hold back, and we go for grants. Any of you that are on the facilities board know all about our facility improvements wants and needs. This is a commitment far beyond what the CIP is going to pay for. We've got a lot of needs, but the CIP money is all going towards some of these major improvement projects, roofs, heat and air, at some of our facilities that are way past due. Public safety, police and fire. Police is using theirs for body cam upgrades. The foundation has given us a grant for some basic body cam information. We've got upgrades, and they use that, the rest of it on an annual basis in their capital budgeting. So as they see capital needs, they're able to use that. Same with fire. They purchased extractors, which is basically special washing machines to help clean up their bunker gear. When they're in a fire, they get all that smoke and material on their gear. They really need to get that cleaned off as best as possible. And then that's already been purchased, and they're using the rest to buy gear, new bunker gear as needed, because they're major capital investments, and so we want to make sure that our firefighters are geared out properly. So we also have set aside funding to help with the new fire station on York. We asked the voters, and they agreed to give us some money to help the 911 center and pay for all the hardware and software that the city is responsible out there, and so those projects are in place. So we are very thankful to the citizens of Muskogee for voting for us to have those capital improvements. We are in progress. Some of those are finished, some of those are yet to get started, and some of those so we got some that are done, some that are in progress, and some that are getting ready to go. So we're proud that the city's entrusted us, our citizens have entrusted us with the money to do good things. We are doing good things, and I hope you're You're proud of where we're at, and we look forward to making our community better. So I'll be happy to answer any questions about the CIP, and there's not any action necessary, but we're receiving the report, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions for Mr. Miller?
Mr. Miller, I did have a question that the mayor wanted me to make sure I asked. Now, this is the 2019 CIP. Did we complete all of the 2013 CIP money? Was that all been completed, or we still have open?
So there's 1.1 projects on the 2014 CIP was the last one we did. So one is one that you're familiar with, and both of those were tied up in grants. So we kept our money aside to apply for grants to try and get bigger and better projects. So that's the reason they're not done. One is we call it the Four Corners project, the downtown project with the streetlights that tie in to the train. That's the one that's 90% done. When I say we're 1.1 projects left, that's the 0.1. And then the second one is Country Club in Shawnee signalization project, and that has already been it's a partnership with ODOT. I believe we've already got the stuff ordered, so it's ready to go. It's just a matter of time and materials coming in, and then also making sure that we don't do it at just the wrong time, since it's at Shawnee and Country Club, that conflicts with the Arkansas River Bridge construction. So those are the two projects that are remaining. In both of those, again, we got ODOT matching grant for the Shawnee one. So that's part of why we waited, to make sure we could leverage our money. We tried downtown, but weren't able to. So we just went ahead with the project.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. And we have one citizen to speak. Miss Addie Wood, if you would please come to the microphone. Oh, Haiti Wood. Sorry. Please come to the microphone and state your name and your address. And you have 3 minutes.
Okay, my name is Haiti Wood. I live at 1322 Baltimore Avenue, Muskogee. I've lived in Muskogee since 1981. I love this city. My concern is, let's talk trash. We have litter issues in Muskogee, Oklahoma. And you can go down any street in any business and you can be hit with it. I mean, we had a horrible windstorm a couple of weeks ago. I was getting hit with trash going into a business. I didn't know what the correct steps were to address this. So I didn't know if we had anything in place for the city of Muskogee. So I called the city manager's office and code enforcement on 4/1/23 and left a voicemail. No one called me back. I called Parks and Recreation because I go to Spalding Park every day with my dog. I pick up trash around the pond daily. And there was also spray painting on the gazebo floor, and an unusually large amount of trash left in the gazebo with a shopping cart, Christmas tree, odd stuff. I hauled it off, but I did call Parks and Recreation, and Larry from Parks and Recreation called me back, and we had a great discussion. I personally made a point of picking up trash daily around the pond for quite a while, and each weekend I spend an hour picking up trash on Saturday and Sunday. I make a point of doing that in my neighborhoods, around my neighborhoods. My thoughts are, we need to educate our children in schools first. We need to have some kind of assembly and educate our children on taking pride in our community and ownership in our community. We need to reach out to our civic organizations, churches, businesses. Maybe they can participate one day out of the month or week to pick up trash in our local parks. We just need to turn this around. We need to take our community back. We're trashy. I've had family come in from Illinois and Arkansas, and that was the first thing they noticed, is how bad we looked. And that embarrassed me, because I love this place. I'm still going to pick up trash, but this is just me speaking off the top of my head, and I'll still continue to pick up trash every weekend, 1 hour on Saturday and 1 hour on Sunday. And I will encourage others to do that. I had something on Facebook there for a while, Let's Talk Trash, and I encourage families and people in our community to pick up trash 1 hour of 1 week. 1 hour is all it takes. We can take our community back. But if you start something, if the city starts something, I'd like to participate in it. I'd like to help. I want to be a part of that. So that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Wood. And this meeting is adjourned.